Well, here's the situation. I'm driving home from work in my Forester XT. It's a 2015, and it goes full freak out, right into limp mode. If you have a Forester XT from 2015 or that era, and you've had it for a while, you're probably familiar with it because there's a good chance it's done it. That being said, we love that car. It's a great car. We've had that one for a few years, and we've put a ton of miles on it. We've driven the thing all over the place. It's went through deep water. It's went through shallow water. It's mud, trees, off-roading a little bit. It's a great car. But it goes into limp mode. The AT template comes on. Oh, that's new. That's never come on before. And so I limp it home. And I get home. We throw the old code reader on it. Got two codes. The one code goes off every time something is wrong with the car. The cam position sensor goes off. And every problem it has had, the cam position sensor gets thrown. I think when it goes into limp mode, something happens with the timing. I don't know. If you know, tell me. I would love to know why that is. But the other code is that the lock out or lock up solenoid is not actuating. This video is going to be my little adventure through pulling that out and replacing it. So we're going to get into that. I have a plan of attack. We're going to buy a transmission from a guy who's got one sitting around. We're going to tear it apart. We're going to pull solenoids out of it. We're going to test them. We're going to pull ours apart. We're going to test the ones in ours. See if we can't do a swap. This is not my area. So as you're going through the video, you'll probably see, if you know a lot about this stuff, you'll probably see me make all kinds of errors. Please try to be constructive. I'm learning here. I'm not a mechanic. I'm not an expert. I'm just gonna, fumble my way through this and see if we can get the car back on the road. Let's get into it. So here is the TR690 Subaru CVT out of a 2010 Outback, and it does happen to be the same transmission that is in my 2015 Subaru Forester XT, because I got a turbo, because turbos are better than non-turbos. I do love the non-turbos too, though. We're going to dive into this. I'm going to pull this valve body apart. We're going to try and salvage some solenoids out of the valve body to throw into my other Subaru here. So the car this came out of, they were having some issues with. There's a good chance, since this is one of the Gen 1 Subaru CVTs, that the real problem that they were having, they just swapped the transmission out, was this here torque converter. And Subaru, if you have issues with these, I believe they swap them out if you're still under 100,000 miles. Our Forester is not under 100,000 miles, so that's not an option for us. Subaru had a few issues with these. One, that torque converter, which they did put out a revised design that you can get, and it's supposed to eliminate that problem completely. And the other one is the problem that we're having today, which is failure of the solenoid, specific lock-up solenoid. So each transmission has 3 of them. We are going to pull this apart. I'm going to pull all 3 out, check and see if they're any good, and maybe we can use them. So here we have the valve body. It's out of a TR690 CVT, and we need to remove these lockout cylinders and solenoids, sorry, and test them. So I'm going to pull all three of them out, and then we're going to test them to see if they're any good or not. So first we're going to bend these metal clips back that hold a lot of the wires in place. Then once those are out of the way, so we got one more over here, one more over here. We're going to take out, let's see, a few of these bolts.
It's for, he said, I have seen them. I said, okay, it's yours. And the featured on the MTV, the local high school lets out. The town becomes anarchy. Parties are chaos, skin marks are measured. The store's in the paper, you may read it at your leisure.
Subaru will sell me a new valve body for somewhere in the neighborhood of $800. And there's a few YouTube videos out there already on pulling these out, so I would suggest you go and watch those as well and pick up anything useful out of them. Oh, there we go. So one's out. Oh, very nice. Once you get that metal clip out of there, they pop out. They do have a couple O-rings on them. And I think that's the only thing you're fighting at this point to get them out, so you can just find a little leverage on some of these little mounts on your tranny valve body and leverage them out of there. So there they are. Alright, so we got our multimeter out here. This is not one of those super nice, expensive flukes that I would love to have, but really don't have much need for. So we're going to roll with the Horrible Freight $40 model here. So doing a little research, it says online that these things should check out at about 12 of whatever it is we're measuring here. The tolerance I grabbed from another YouTube video. They said it should be between 9 and 12. I'm going to take the black one. I'm going to ground it on the tranny valve body here somewhere. Hopefully good enough. And then we're going to go right over to the pigtail and the end of the wire harness here and check each one of those colors. And if they're good, hopefully we'll get around 12. Let's see if we get 12. 11.9. That's it's close enough to 12. So that's this one. Let's go ahead and check out the next one. I'm gonna pull this jacket right off here. At this point, it's just in the way. $12.2. All right. So for two, that's good. We got a green one here. We're gonna check out here. The green one's right there. Come into the pigtail here. Get our contact on it and see what we get. Look at that, 12.1 right on the nose. So, as far as I can tell at this point, looks like we have 3 good solenoids. So, good deal. Now we'll move on to cutting these guys out of here.
joins. Had to speak it on the MTV. The local high school lets out. The town becomes anarchy. Parties are chaos. Skin marks unmeasured. The stories in the paper you may read it at your leisure. Get up! Each escape from the prison planet. Get up!
So we got 3 potentially good solenoids here. Alright, so upon further inspection, I think this plastic housing on the side of these solenoids comes off. I haven't quite figured out how to get it off yet, so we're going to go down that road next. I mean, I got 3 of them here. If we break one, you know, maybe we'll learn how it comes off. We can take the other ones off without breaking them. And this hasn't taken a terribly long time. We're only 1 beer in. We'll go to beer number 2 here as we move into phase 2. If you like these kind of videos, you might be interested in checking out a YouTube channel I've been watching religiously forever that does teardown videos of tools, and it's AVE or AVE. Great channel, love it. But anyways, let's try to pull this thing off here. It seems loose, this little block here, but something's holding it on, some kind of clip. And clip on the back maybe. Woo! There we go. That's probably not supposed to happen. So I'm going to loosen up this clip on the back here. Seeing if that's what's holding this front one on. I am notoriously terrible at taking little plastic things apart without breaking them. Oh. So it looks like it slides straight up. But you have to get this little guy off first. So once we got that guy off, I think it just slides straight up. And okay, here we go. These wires come right out of these V's. And just like that, a job that I thought was going to require some soldering just got a little simpler. It looks like it's just a couple of normal slide-on wire ends there. So it looks like the main thing that's holding this little guy down, get that right off and slide this back on, is these 2 little plastic clips that stick off the side. They slide actually inside of the cylinder of the solenoid. Get it back down. So the trick is just, it's a really tight fit. There's no actual mechanism holding it down. The problem would probably be, I bet a lot of the times these things are just tiny and they're really easy to snap off. So, but being covered in transmission fluid and made out of thin plastic, she's definitely tricky to get apart. So there's a little lip right under the front here, and that would be probably the best spot to just kind of get it started, get it past that little point of where it's still retained by all the friction of sliding it in there. Once you get it past there, kind of grip it evenly and make sure you pull just straight out. Get her at an angle, and you're gonna have bits and pieces stuck inside the solenoid, which probably cause you all kinds of problems. The wire's out by spreading it just a little bit, and you can put your clips on. I'm going to leave all the clips on here just so I know, remember the wire pattern here. If you notice on all of them, it looks like we've got the active line, power line on this side, and then the ground coming out of the this side with the solenoid oriented in this direction. The power line is on the right side of all of them, so that's good. Alright. Got that done and still got 3/4 of a beer left. Break time.